Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, in this video, we're going to be going over the throat letters in the Arabic language. So we covered before that the articulators, the major articulators in the Arabic language are five. And articulators are any vocal organs that take place in the production of a speech sound in any language. So in the Arabic language, there are five vocal organs, five articulators that are used to create speech sounds, which is the throat, the nose, the tongue, the lips, and the jawf. And we covered this in the introduction to this. So in this video, we're going to be going over the throat letters, which are six letters in the Arabic language. So there are 29 letters in the Arabic language, and these 29 letters, these 29 symbols represent a consonant. And a consonant is any speech sound where the different parts of your mouth, your different vocal organs are touching each other in order to create the speech sound. Contrary to vowels, since vowels are any speech sound which the different parts of your mouth or your different vocal organs are not necessarily touching each other, but they're just holding a shape like ah, e, oo. And we covered this before. So every single letter in the Arabic language represents a consonant, while the vowels are represented by harakat accents, which is the fatha, the dhamma, and the kasra. So starting with the guttural letters, which are the throat letters, so letters that come from the throat. There are six letters that come from the throat in the Arabic language, and they can be divided based on where they come in your throat. There are two letters that come from your lower throat, and then there are two letters that come from the middle of your throat, and then there are two letters that come from the upper part of your throat. So starting with the letters that come from the lower part of your throat, we have two letters. The first one is the hamza. The hamza comes from the very bottom of your throat. It comes from your vocal cords. So when your two vocal cords, they come together very quickly, that's called a glottal stop. And that's what the hamza is fundamentally. The hamza is the glottal stop, where your two vocal cords are striking each other in a sense. A, I, U. When you say, you should feel as if the bottom of your throat, your two vocal cords are closing together. You should actually be able to feel that. It's very similar to the at the end of butter and better. The when you're saying you're definitely going to feel that your two vocal cords are coming together and closing, and that's exactly the same feeling that you want to feel when you're saying a, I, u. Moving forward, we have the ha. The ha is the second letter that comes from the bottom part of your throat. And the ha is that there's air passing through your vocal cords. So your vocal cords, they stay open, but you're just making air go through them. And when you do that, you get the ha, ha, he, who. So it's coming from the bottom of your throat. You should not feel any type of sensation from the middle of your throat. If you feel a type of sensation from the middle of your throat when you're saying the ha, you're not saying ha, you're saying ha, ha, which is a different letter. So the ha is like the H in hand, 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 ha, he, who. Moving forward, we have the ha. Now the ha is a stronger version, okay? And the ha comes from the middle of your throat, right where your epiglottis is. And your epiglottis is this piece of flesh right here, this muscle right here. This location here is where the ha comes from. And here you should definitely feel it in the middle of your throat. Ha, he, ho. It's fairly clear. Then after that, we have the famous ayn. Now, the ayn, there's no equivalent to the ayn in the English language, which makes it very hard for people to learn it. And the ayn is that you have what's called the epiglottis here, and the epiglottis is this piece of flesh here, this muscle. And the job of the epiglottis is that when you're swallowing something, your epiglottis, it closes your air path. It closes your air paths to make sure that the food doesn't go down the wrong hole, as we say. Okay. So when we start coughing, what's happening is that for whatever reason, our epiglottis most likely they're not closed properly, and thus some water or some food pretty much went inside of there. So when we're coughing, we're sending air up through our lungs and up through our air path, trying to push that water or push that food out of that hole to go down the right hole. So the epiglottis there, that's its job, is to push back and to close. So when we're saying da'ain, what we're fundamentally doing is that we're pushing back the epiglottis towards the back of our throat. Ah, ah, ah. So you should feel your epiglottis pushing back and tightening against the back of your throat. Then we have the ha. The ha is like the KH sound in the German buch. Okay, so it's coming from the back of your throat right here. Ach, ha, hi, hu. And then finally, we have the ghain. We have the ghain. And the ghain comes slightly below the kha, comes slightly below. The kha is coming from here. The ghain's coming slightly below right here. Okay? And the ghain, the easiest way to think about the ghain is as if you were gargling water. It's coming from that exact same location where that gargling sound is coming from. Okay? So it's similar to the G in good, but then you add a type of raspy sound to it to make the ghain, ra, ri, ru, ra, ri, ru. And with that, we get the 6 guttural letters. We have the hamza and the ha that come from the bottom of the throat. Then we have the ha and the ayn that come from the middle of the throat. And then we have the kha and the ghain that come from the upper part of the throat.